Welcome to Alien Invasion Gaming. My name is Roy, and in this video we'll take a look at the task, The Guide. Let's get started. Before we look at the guide, I did want to let you know that I stream on Mixer Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. If you have any question on this task or other tasks in Tarkov or the game in general, please stop on by and say hello and ask away. You can also get me on Twitter at Reglar10. Make sure you throw me a follow to get notified when I go live. And finally, we do have an active Discord community. The link is in the description. If you have a question and you'd like to ask it there, feel free. So the task, the guide, requires you to complete or basically survive every map. You can't die. You can't have a run through. You have to have enough experience to survive. The rewards for this task are $28,000. Which is a nice chunk of change when you're buying things from Peacekeeper. I start with labs, because for me, labs is probably the biggest risk. And so here I have pressed the elevator buttons to force some raiders to spawn, and I have now waiting. I heard them, so now I'm just checking them out, and I'm going to kill a couple, and then I'm going to move on. I really don't recommend pushing into the middle of labs. Obviously, if you're much more confident than I on PvP, you're more than welcome to. But I would focus on trying to get a couple of raider kills, grab the loot, and get out.
Куда ты спрятался? Okay, I'm on it.
Хорошо. Мне тут пиздец как не нравится, но выхода у нас нет. Смотрим под ноги.
One thing to note, the lab's medical elevator seems to have a glitch. You can't actually push into it. Just keep pressing forward, hit the button, you'll get out. Now, my next map that I did was Factory, because, again, it's probably one of my worst maps. Here, I was careless, I was peeking, not looking on both sides of the stairs, and somebody, shot at me right late. Fortunately, they didn't hit me very hard, and I was able to pull back and heal. I definitely recommend using the tunnels in Factory. Again, looking for either scavs or players. And make sure that you have the factory exit key, because you're going to want to leave by that exit, not the normal exit 3, which usually gets camped. Here, this guy decided he was going to try to do a Batman on me, but I heard him because he was on wood, and I was able to finish him off.
Перца щеби!
Next up is Reserve. Now, I spawned next to the marked room, or one of them, And I decided to push it for two reasons. One is, could be great loot. Second is, I know that I'm going to get some PMCs pushing me. So I ducked in. The loot was horrible. Like, nothing good. But ducked in, cleared it out, and then just sort of set up, waiting. I then realized this was a stupid place to wait, and eventually I moved out of there. By the way, it's stupid because somebody can see you through the window, so you're not exactly, hidden. By the way, my advice is if you're going to rush the marked room and you know you're not first, don't be tentative. I also recommend that you have a Red Rebel and Paracord so that you can take the cliff descent extraction. It's much easier. I know it's expensive. Red Rebels, I think, are over 6 million right now. But I definitely recommend it. And by the way, don't be this guy camping the extract. Alright. Next up is woods, my nemesis. I hate woods. Oh, I hate woods. I hit towards the spine, though, because usually there's scavs that will spawn there. The spine is the big set of rocks in the middle of the map. Here I was able to get a scav that was pushing up to do a patrol. I also recommend Paracord and the Red Rebel for woods so that you can take this cliff descent. Because, again, it's a lot safer than trying to push over to either of the sides. By the way, I haven't mentioned it, but in order to get a survive, you have to have at least one kill, have touched the body, and I think it has to add up to over like 300 experience points. So if you just kill, you're not looting, you're going to need to kill like 3 scavs, because each scav's only worth 100. I think if you kill a PMC is worth 300, I don't remember. But in general, my advice is touch the body. Even if you don't take anything, touch the body will give you experience, and that should put you over what you need to do. But to be safe, grab some things like I just did. A little bit of looting helps make sure that you get over that. You don't want to have a run through and have to do the map. Now, the good news is that if you do get a run through, you don't actually have to restart the task. You just need to do that map again. Next up is customs. And for customs, I did a evening raid, night raid, just to give me a little more cover. I feel very comfortable in customs, so I don't mind doing it. Here, you can hear somebody on my right, and I decide to set up, see if I can't get him. I'm a little low to the tracks. Like, I don't like being here, so I'm going to push up here in a couple seconds. I can't tell yet if it's a player or a scav, because scavs will also, get into the brush. But sound's really important in a night raid. You really don't want to be hitting bushes. I'm able to pretty much zone in on where he's going to pop up, just based on his noise. And I dropped him. Fortunately, he didn't have a teammate, so a little bit of looting, a little Tarkov Tetris, and I'm going to push on. Now I'm showing you the actual route I took because I really wanted to make sure that I stayed away from other players, and I would recommend doing the same. Similarly, why I did a night raid. Sure, you could run into some guy who's sweaty and running a thermal, but that's usually not the percentage of majority of the time that you're going to see. So, taking it a little cautious, I'm going to try to avoid known caches, aggregation, spots where players aggregate, like around the checkpoint. I'm going to be very cautious here. I'm scoping it out, listening. There was somebody taking some shots at some scavs, so I'm going to go wide and basically try to work my way around. I definitely recommend that, you know, if you're not comfortable with full frontal PvP, and again, such as myself, stealth and cunning are your best tools for getting through and surviving on this map. Now, even though I'm trying to be, you know, avoiding traffic, I am not guaranteed to avoid it. And here I'm going to run into somebody who probably is just coming from dorms. Again, I'm doing a lot of walking because I don't want to make a lot of noise. Again, coming down to stealth. I do hear somebody on my right, though, in a minute. And was able to get him. Again, I'm not running. Running gives away a lot of noise. If you're not in a mission-critical task like I am, then running's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with running. But definitely, I did very slow, methodical walking for this task. Picked up a marked room key for my trouble, too. Again, I'm just showing you the rest of my run. Decided to repack a mag here. Actually decided to repack both mags. Definitely recommend being in a bush, but I think that's obvious to most people at this point. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is that, you know, whenever possible, look for the alternate extract. So, for me, this is going to be the smuggler's boat. And you can tell the smuggler's boat is up if this campfire is lit. If there's no campfire, the extract is closed. The other one is the RUAF checkpoint or roadblock. And you can tell if that one's up by the light being on above it. Okay, next up is I'm doing shoreline. And shoreline's fairly easy. For me, I hit the bus station. I avoid the resort. I hit the bus station because there's usually at least one scav going to be in here. Plus, there's several items that you can loot. And right off from the start of the raid, there are not a lot of people that are going to rush the bus station. People are typically going to rush the resort, maybe the cottage. Here, I'm picking up a motor. I'm going to pick up a couple of other things. I'm listening for the scav. I heard him coming up. Haven't seen him yet. Just checking this room, make sure they didn't spawn in here. I have had that happen where they spawned in this room. Very annoying. Looking. There he is. Alright. There's my kill. I'll loot him in a second. For now, I'm going to pick up some miscellaneous loot. Boogie over to him. Touch the body. Grab a couple items and get out. Here I'm just sucking up random assortment. All gives loot. I try not to dawdle on this task. By the way, it took me 11 tries to get this task done. I always, you know, ran into something that got killed and had to reset it. Very painful. So, patience is going to be needed on this task. There's no doubt about that. Alright. Next up, interchange. Now, I started off this map close to the railway exfil, and I decided to hit the scav camp in the middle of the road. I hear somebody walking on middle. I don't think it's the scav, because mostly they don't. And turned out it was a PMC. So, scav or PMC, whatever, both will help you get your necessary experience. Again, a solo player, so I was fortunate. Gonna quickly grab his loot and get out. You can see that I've already hit a couple of caches on the way over and picked myself up a lion for my trouble. Here I am just going down the edge of the map, coming into the Emercon extract. Now, if you really wanted, you could push for one of the new extracts, but honestly, I think the tried and true Emercon / Railway Exfil, they're perfectly fine for this. Obviously, you're going to have to be careful of extraction campers. I find this map gets the most campers, just personal experience. I'm sure others have had other experience, but basically just take it slow, be methodical, and get out. You can see I'm weaving a little bit here in case there is a sniper. And this will do it. I was very thankful to see this task completed finally. That's it for this video. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure before you go to drop me a like or a dislike. Gives me an idea of how I'm doing content-wise. Also, if you'd like to get notified of future videos, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notifications. That's it for this week.